We're going to be discussing education, and I have the UK Secretary of State for Education, for the Department of Education, Gillian Keegan, and the Honourable Minister of Education, Government of India, Dharmendra Pradhan, is joining us as well virtually. So we've got a three-way chat, which is super exciting. Like I said, the theme is education, globalising, digitising, and skilling our citizens for the future. We have got a lot to cover, so if I interject, Secretary of State or Minister, I'm not being rude. I just want to cover as much ground as I can, like a kid in a sweet shop. I've got the Secretary of State and the Minister, so I'm going to be really probably pushing you through. Minister, Honourable Minister, thank you for joining us today. Minister Pradhan, if I could start with you because you're the one furthest away, so I should start with you. This thing, education, this wonderful, important word which we're discussing, it's one of the key pillars of the UK-India 2030 roadmap. So let's put it to you. What's been achieved since the roadmap was implemented in 2021 when it's come to this education theme and the partnership between these two wonderful nations?
Good afternoon. I'm thankful to India Global Forum for arranging this dialogue with my counterpart of UK, Secretary Gillian Keegan. Recently, we have concluded the G20 Ministerial Roundtable meeting at Pune. India and UK are very dependable and old partner in the area of knowledge and education. Yes, you have rightly said we have a roadmap of 2030. The world is changing fast. India and UK are very deep into area of research, area of mutual interest, in area of recognizing degrees of the both sides. More than 100,000 Indian students are in UK now. So sizable number of UK students are also studying in different institutions of India. Looking into present global scenario, India as being a young country and UK being a very deep into knowledge-based economy, our joint effort has to be there, how we can collaboratively create a pathway for the better future for the global citizens.
Theme, Secretary of State, the collaboration. How can we, as Minister Pradhan said there, how can we collaborate further to enhance both our nations in this subject of skilling education, to boost our nations together?
Well, I think it really helps that we're natural partners. We have long history of partnership. And also congratulations to India on having the G20 presidency this year. I know my education minister had the honour of attending and being in India and meeting Pradhan and his colleagues, and he absolutely loved it. He was blown away actually by what he saw because obviously they were focusing on literacy, numeracy, technology, new skills. And what we know about India is a very fast-moving country, very innovative country. So there's always lots and lots for us to learn from each other. So there's the true genuine partnership. You know, often that word partnership's used, but if you've really got the real foundations that go back for many decades, then it makes it easier to build this partnership. So I think we're very natural partners. And I think there's many, you were talking about what's been done. Obviously, we've committed to the 2030 roadmap, but we're also committed to making sure we generate the next generation of talent that's going to be there to help us both tackle some of the big challenges that we'll have, and some of the technological challenges, some of the environmental challenges, some of the demographic challenges, we need to make sure that we have the people who can help us deal with all of those challenges, and we can do that much better if we work together. So transnational education partnerships has been a big focus, where UK universities have opened up campuses in India, and obviously that is a great model that we will look to continue. I think we've got Birmingham and Northumbria universities doing some really interesting things on real estate and artificial intelligence and data in collaboration with universities in India. We've got a lot of students obviously coming from India to the UK, and students going from the UK to India as well. So we're crossing the people learning in our respective countries and learning a lot from each other. We have also got the mutual recognition of qualifications. That was a really important sort of foundation stone, really, because then upon that you can build on that, and you can make sure that the wheels are oiled in a way to make sure that people can go between the two countries. So we've got some great foundations, and I think it's a very natural partnership, but I look forward to really expanding it further.
Just on that matter of international mobility of students and educators, such a key part of that buzz phrase, transnational education. Given that the M word, migration, it's topical here, and I don't want to go down that road, but there are discussions that as part of the quest to control migration, overseas students might be affected. What assurances can you give our audience? Can you give Indian students who have ambitions to come to the UK that they'll be able to do so and they won't be sucked into this need, desire, quest by the UK now to control migration?
Yes, and our country does include the figures in the overall migration figures. Not every country does, but it does, so it comes up as a discussion point. But we have deliberately established an international education strategy, and in that strategy it says we target to get at least 600,000 students from around the world each year into the UK, and to make that an attractive offer, we not only have people going out and marketing and saying what a great place it is to come to the UK to study, but we also have a graduate visa route, so that when somebody's studied here, they have a period of time to be able to look for a job. So there's a 2-year graduate visa route, and then if you want to stay further, then you get a visa alongside with the job that you've got. So that's quite a compelling offer, and that's an offer that we've reiterated actually even recently. Both myself and the Home Secretary have said that we do think, we do support the international education strategy, and we do, recognise that the graduate visa route is part of that. One of the things we did do, though, was we did remove the right for people to bring dependents for taught master's courses. And the reason we did that was because we were never expecting that to be a big number, and then it shot up massively. So that's just for the taught master's courses. And I think most people value the ability to come here and the graduate visa route. And then, of course, if you stay here, then, of course, you can bring your family then. Yeah.
Minister Pradhan, if I could move it on, because we've got so much to discuss, and I want to bring it on to Education 3.0 and onto the topic of AI, because AI, it's the buzzword in 2023, isn't it? Because of ChatGPT. It's going to transform labour markets. It's going to transform traditional modes of teaching. How do you view AI? How much of a threat? Is it binary? Is it good? Is it bad? How do you see it changing, transforming the labour landscape? And how do we as nations collaborate to ensure that we all benefit from AI?
Mark, we don't have any option to judge whether it is good or bad. AI is there today. ChatGPT is there today. Now, the debate is going on, what about God-gifted human intelligence? This is debate between artificial intelligence, AI, versus human intelligence, HI. Now, the entire academia, entire policy maker is concerned about how it will affect the normal critical thinking. But we have to accept the innovation, we have to accept the scientific unfoldment of the society. How can we use in humans development, civilizational development? That is the responsibility with us today. Big data analytics, AI, ML, AR, VR, these are the new tools to create ease of living in the society. If you go by some of the analysis of World Economic Forum, by next few years, half of the hands on job will be abolished. New job will replace, especially driven by AI, driven by ML. All these things will come up. We have to cope up with the changing scenario. Now, with the innovation, with the technology, the entire globe became a small village. With this reality, how can the base out of it we can derive? That is the challenge. And I see human being has its own capacity to innovate such things and and navigate the future challenges also. Digitization is the order of the day. Globalization, mobility, and the future skills are the need of the hour to the 21st century knowledge based economy. AI is going to affect, help, or promote all these things in a big way. But we have to, as a policy maker, we have to see AI should not reduce the human intelligence. That is the primary ethical aspect of the challenge is there.
Can we, Secretary of State, then work together as nations to ensure that we're supporting, we're facilitating the integration of these amazing emerging technologies, which are causing many people to worry and question and get excited about? There's a lot to digest here. AI, machine learning, as the Minister says, virtual reality. How can we ensure that we're using these technologies to benefit the education system, to enhance learning outcomes, to prepare students to be ready for the job market of the future?
Well, the first thing is, as the Minister said, you have to embrace new technology. So there's been a couple of different reactions. So some people have sort of gone towards and embraced it, and a few have sort of said, no, we should pause this. This is going too fast, and we don't quite know what this is going to do to various aspects of our life. In my experience, you don't get to pause technology. It happens, so you have to embrace it. But we're all at the very beginning of that journey, and every country, every G20 country will be grappling with exactly the same challenges at exactly the same time. We've discussed with many other countries, and we do need to work with our partners and share information as we go along that journey. There is huge opportunity within education, we think, and we've published a positive sort of direction of travel in terms of generative AI in March this year. We've obviously contributed. We've got a framework. We're looking at models to develop within this framework. I mean, the thing about AI is training it to do what you want it to do for various given sectors or problems that you're trying to solve. And I think in the education sector, where we see huge opportunities is to automate, make much more easy planning for lessons, marking of homework, personalizing a student's homework journey, many areas that now are quite intensive of time. Everything's done individually. You can train AI to mark exam papers, for example. So that's the kind of area that we're leaning into, and I think we should, go on that learning journey together. It will always involve a teacher, though, because a teacher will have to teach, impart knowledge, check that AI, is supplementing and augmenting the learning experience. But of course, we need to make sure that we are also having that guided AI. I think we're in that period of time. But I'm personally quite excited about the possibility, and I think it can free up a lot more teaching time. Teachers want to be innovative in the classroom. They want to take time to learn more themselves so that they can develop. So there's lots and lots of things that AI can really help us with.
Yeah, let's move on from AI because there's so much to discuss to STEM disciplines. And Minister Pradhan, if I can ask you this, it's all about collaboration. So let's stay on that theme. How can India, how can the UK collaborate to enhance opportunities in these super important STEM disciplines? And what we are striving to do also is strengthen the role of women in these areas as well, and I'll speak to the Secretary of State about this as well. But how can India and the UK collaborate when it comes to STEM disciplines and integrating more women?
Mark, you'll be happy to know with UK, as Secretary Gillian said, our relationship is very deep. We have a arrangement of in the framework of UKRI, India UK India Education Research Program. Now we are going for the fourth chapter. Basically, this institution, this instrument is meant for networking between two sets of institutions from UK and India, especially in the area of core science, in the area of engineering. STEM is one of the primary area of UK's research priority. There are a lot of examples I can say. A lot of startups are coming out of this research and innovation ecosystem by both the countries. And not only both the country will be beneficiary of this collaborative research, collaboratively we can do work in a third country in the area of their scientific need, in the area of their ease of living. The collaboration of area like STEM and core engineering, India and the UK are working in certain area, and we can work in a bigger way in the area of hospitality, in the area of healthcare, in the area of fintech, in the area of e-commerce. In all these areas, these are the emerging and new area for the vocational education and for the employability. These are the area I can envision for the more collaboration beyond STEM. More collaboration is there. We can have more collaboration with UK.
Much more we can do, Secretary of State, but I'm really intrigued to hear your view on what the UK is doing to strengthen the role of women in these areas and how the UK and India can work together to achieve that.
Well, just to put it into context, we will have skills shortages worldwide of about 80 million by 2030. So that's the challenge that we have to overcome. So you need everybody playing on the pitch, including fantastic women as well. And actually part of the framework was the Gati project to work to specifically encourage more women into STEM. And we've been trying to do that for quite a while. We've got lots of different programs in school, and it's starting to work, actually. And the way really to do it is, people think of STEM and they have an image of STEM which is completely out of date. There's almost not a job in the country that hasn't got some kind of STEM element to it. Technology has taken over how most jobs are done. It's part of how you deliver on most jobs. You know, I was looking at even how you make films and animation. It's completely changed because of the motion capture technology, and really what you need to do is be able to understand this technology, not necessarily build this technology, some will, but thousands more will need to apply it, to use it, to use it to develop and create things as well, you know, whether that's, you know, advanced manufacturing, 3D printing, healthcare. You know, AI use in healthcare is going to be continuing and continuing. We're using it now to get, you know, really much more targeted and focused cancer care treatment. So there won't be a job where technology isn't some kind of an aspect. So we need to, I guess, change the mindsets, and this is what we've been working on, to open up the world of how tech is actually underpinning pretty much every job. Even if you want to go into agriculture, you know, look at farming now, look at the way that they're using technology to even decide which field the cow should be in for how long, which grass should be grown, what mix of grasses, how much it should be changed over time to get the optimal for the animal's health and weight, etc. So almost everything is there. There really won't be a career of the future which technology is not a part of in some way, almost none. So I think that's what we need to do, to basically just open up the mind to say, any career, these are really, really good ways to, these are good subjects for you to know to really enable you to get on in those careers. Now, young people are very quick at catching on. So we said a few years ago, you know, if you do a maths A-level, you will earn more than people who don't do a maths A-level. Now, the number one A-level in our country for young people is maths A-level. You know, they've completely caught on. We talk about T-levels and the new T-levels, and we'll work to share all of this learning as well together as we go along this journey. So we've got a technical alternative to A-levels, which is where you really get to understand. We've brought business and education really closely together. That is the secret sauce of how you do this. And we've worked with 5,000 businesses to design new qualifications, to design apprenticeship standards, to provide...
I know you're a big advocate of apprentices and apprenticeships, and someone who, of course, started their working life when they were 16 as an apprentice. We don't have time, though, Secretary of State, but I advise all of you to look at the work that the Secretary of State's doing when it comes to apprenticeships, and she has a background having been one when she was 16. So it's so important that the two nations share experiences, best practices in this area to deal with the changing demands of the job market. Secretary of State, we could talk for hours, but the time police is in my ear saying that's it. So we've got to wrap it up. Secretary of State, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Minister of Education in India, Dharmendra Pradhan. Minister, thank you so much for joining us today. It was fantastic. Let's give our two wonderful guests a big round of applause.